And it was recovered by the left tackle, James Atkins.
Well, once again, you have number 93, Daniel Stubbs. As Coach Ray Rhodes says, right here, you see him coming. You see Fuller coming around the end. He just continues to make plays. Right there, he's going one-on-one with the Atkins. James Atkins, the left tackle, beats him around the corner. Here we look at it. Definitely a pass. His arm was going forward.
The ball is returned to the spot where the fumble occurred.
Here's the call by the official. And there's no question about it that
well, the official ruling, Anthony, a sack and a fumble. Atkins made the recovery. Here's Broussard. It's across the 40. Out to the 44-yard line. Timeout called by the Seahawks with 26 seconds remaining in the first half. 13 yards on the carry by Broussard. Coming up on the Dockers halftime, join JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy for scores and highlights from around the NFL. That's all coming up next on the Dockers halftime.
Well, he called that a sack and a fumble. To me, it appeared that he was definitely starting his throwing motion. Thought it would have been an incompleted pass.
4 sacks today for the Eagles. They came in tied for the NFC lead with 37, so that is 41 sacks in 13 games. A defensive unit which Ray Rhodes says is just a bunch of guys off the streets.
That's right. As we take a look at Rick Meyer, he goes back. You see the hand coming. Actually, it looks like the motion is going forward, but the official calls it a sack and a fumble. And right there, if that was a fumble, it was a near fumble recovery right there. I don't know. I personally think it was an incompleted pass, but I'm not making the calls down there.
26 seconds to go. 3rd down and 7. Play action. Meyer across midfield inside the 40. Brian Blades. And the Seahawks call their final timeout. Down to the Eagles 37 with 16 seconds to go, second quarter.
Right there, you see the conference going on by Erickson, Rich Olson. We'll take a look at that last play. You know, for an offense that didn't do a whole lot last week, you see right here a 19-yard completion to Brian Blades. It's nice protection, plenty of time. Enough time to bring the ball down and say, no, I don't want to go there, so I'll go to Brian Blades over the middle. As Rick Meyer is 10 of 13 for 108 yards. No timeouts left for Seattle. 16 seconds left.
The ball is now on the 37-yard line. As you mentioned, no timeouts remaining. They look to go towards the sideline. The intended receiver was James McKnight. So it will be 2nd down, 3 seconds, tick off the clock.
And I think that ball might almost hit Mark McMillan in the head as you look at Todd Peterson, the kicker for the Seahawks. Season long of 49 yards, just waiting there for an opportunity with 13 seconds left.
This would be a 50-yard field goal if the Seahawks do not pick up any more yardage. The pass batted at the line. And we are now down to 9 seconds.
You know, the thing that I don't understand, and I see this a lot around the league, with the 3-step drops, the quick releases, I don't see the linemen chopping down the defensive linemen to get their hands out of the way. Right here, let's take a look at this. I would think you see Daniel Stubbs here, you see James Atkins, number 74. Okay, you know the quarterback's going to throw the ball. Boom, take his legs out from under him, make him get his legs down, and you have to do that. You have to give the quarterback the throwing leg.
9 seconds to go, 3rd down and 10. Myers pass is complete. Can Blades get out of bounds? Yes, he does with 2 seconds remaining. Terrific effort by Brian Blades, who knifes his way to the sideline.
Well, he just got the football out of bounds to stop the clock with 2 seconds.
And a flag was thrown as well.
And the Seahawks are pointing towards the Eagles.
Holding, number 26 of the defense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Kenny, that penalty was on Jerome Henderson, number 26. Right here you see Brian Blades against Mark McMillan. McMillan, he goes, oh, he got it back. And then you see Michael Zordich trying to slap the ball back in. Right here, just extending his body, knowing he has to get out. And he does get the football on the white. Gives him a chance to kick a field goal here.
47-yard attempt. Peterson's career long is 49. The kick by Peterson makes it through. As the first half comes to an end, Todd Peterson connects from 47. The Seahawks lead the Eagles 17-7. Fox NFL Sunday will continue with the Doctors halftime after this message.
Like every kid, I needed guidance. I needed
Dome, the Seattle Seahawks leading the Philadelphia Eagles by the score of 17-7. Kenny Albert, Anthony Munoz back with you from Seattle as we take a look at the numbers from the first half. Rick Meyer did a terrific job spreading the ball out, Anthony, as he went 11 of 16. Rushing yardage, Seahawks doubling up the Eagles.
Well, not only have they doubled them up, but they're great balance. I mean, passing 96, they got 80 yards rushing, and I really believe that's been a key for the Seahawks football team. They've really kept the Eagles off balance the first half.
And not only has Rick Meyer done a good job in the air, but also on the ground. 2 carries for 29 yards, including a 12-yard touchdown run.
Well, we kidded about it and said there were some similarities between him and Chris Warren, but, you know, bottom line is he got the job done right here on the draw, did a nice job breaking the tackle and then getting into the end zone with the football to score the touchdown. But you have to give credit to that offensive line. They really opened up those seams on that run.
Rick struggled last week. In fact, Coach Dennis Erickson told us he would not be afraid to insert John Freeze if the game warranted such a move. But the Seahawks lead by the score of 17-7, and Seattle receives the opening kickoff here in this second half. Steve Broussard down the far sideline gains 27 yards.
And they've been able to attack this Eagle defense exactly the way they told us that they needed to. And right here, we'll take a look at passing by zone by Rick Meyer, and you can see right here that most of their stuff has been happening underneath, and they told us because of the cushion that the Eagles defenders give them, that was the area of attack today, and they've been successful.
And the Seahawks start out this third quarter on their own 34-yard line. Warren the lone back. And the pitch back goes to Chris Warren. Out to the 38-yard line. Bill Romanowski made the stop. Warren in the first half, 38 yards on 13 carries. So he and Ricky Waters have just about canceled each other out. Waters with 40 yards and Warren 38.
You know, one of the things that I've been noticing with this Eagle defense, you'll see Michael Zordich coming up, and this isn't the only time that he's come up and attacked the line of scrimmage and really caught himself on the opposite side of the football. Right there is just one of several times that he's done that.
Second down and 7. Here's Warren again across the 40 to the 42. So it will be third down and approximately 2.5 to go.
Last week they talked about how ugly they played, how terrible, lack of emotion, they weren't ready coming out. One thing they did mention, several guys mentioned about last week, is that they didn't have a good week of practice. They talked about what a great week of practice they had this week, and it's obvious that their emotional level is a lot higher today just by the way they're coming off the football and able to dominate at times, well, most of the time.
3 wide receivers, third down and 2. Broussard lined up as a wideout. Flag on the play. The intended receiver was Steve Broussard. Michael Zordich on the coverage.
Had a chance to talk to Howard Mudd, the offensive line coach, before the game, and he really had some high comments about Steve Broussard.
Defense, number 93, lined up in the neutral zone, all sides, 5 yards, first down.
As you hear the official call the number of Daniel Stubbs, the right defensive end. See him right here. Getting back to Steve Broussard, the thing Howard Mudd was really impressed with more than his ability and to carry the football was his work ethic. Right there you saw Howard Mudd, the offensive line coach, who not only played in this league for a long time, but has coached the offensive line for a long time. I had a chance to play for him over at the Pro Bowl, and he's one of the top technicians in the league.
You went to the Pro Bowl?
I think it was one time I went over and played with them.
I did not know that.
I got to inform you on some of this. As you're teaching me about hockey, I will inform you about my career.
How many Pro Bowls did you play in? Let's see, 1, 2, 11.
I was over there, I think, 11 times. I don't know if the quarterback that I played for would have said that I actually played. With the as an offensive lineman, you go over there and try to come together in 2 days where the defensive linemen are just shooting off the ball and they're looking at that MVP award. We kind of struggle over there at times.
Well, it was Chris Warren last year who set a Pro Bowl record, 127 yards rushing, broken later in that quarter by Marshall Faulk. Here's Warren, met by William Fuller and Kurt Govea. So Warren was in the Pro Bowl record books for about 5 minutes.
And you mentioned Marshall Faulk. These guys, the ability they have running the football. You talked about Chris Warren, Marshall Faulk. We saw some highlights of Emmitt Smith earlier. Ricky Waters. These guys just do things that I kind of dream about being able to do with that football.
And right now it is 3rd down and 8 from the 49-yard line. Seahawks leading 17-7. Fire goes near side. Intended for James McKnight. Coverage by Mark McMillan and good pressure from the defensive line.
We've talked about it several times. This Philadelphia Eagles defensive front, their ability to get to the quarterback. Right here you see William Fuller coming around the corner. You see him coming up the middle. And on that play, what happens, the ball is actually in the air before McKnight makes his cut. And it was all about timing, but still, the timing pattern is not, they don't complete it because of that pressure.
The punt by Chooten, fielded at the 16-yard line by Carpenter, who was upended immediately by Brent Williams. Early 3rd quarter, 35-yard punt by Chooten. Beautiful Seattle, Washington. Kenny Albert with Anthony Munoz. Philadelphia Eagles trailing by 10. Their first possession of this second half as Rodney Peete goes to work. Throws far side, and he hits Waters out of the backfield. Short gain, 2 yards on the play. Rodney Peete now 10 of 18, 129 yards. But the Eagles, who came in second in the entire National Football League on the ground, averaging over 148 yards per game. Only 40 yards rushing in the first half, all by Ricky Waters. No other Eagle carried the ball. As they're without lightning, Charlie Garner. Here's Waters once again. Big hole out to the 30. First down for the Eagles.
That's exactly what they have to do. As we take a look at it right here, 2 and 3, Philadelphia and Seattle. We saw that Seattle, the first half, they were successful running the football. They have a 10-point lead. And in order to get back in this football game, this is what the Eagles have to do. You see right there, Harry Boatswain doing a nice job on number 98. Sam Adams creating that hole on the right side, giving Waters a seam for a nice gain.
Waters again on first down. Pushes his way for about 2 yards. So Ricky Waters, the workhorse, without his buddy in the backfield, Charlie Garner. Waters today, 14 carries, 53 yards. Nobody else on the team has carried the ball.
It'll be interesting to see how, usually with Garner in there, he doesn't have to continue to carry the ball as the game goes on that many times. It'll be interesting to see if he gets stronger or if he gets weaker as the game goes on. And where's James Saxon?
Waters' tendency is to get weaker in terms of yards per pass play or per rushing play. Here's Waters on the deflection by Cortez Kennedy. Loss of 3 on the play.
And that was number 24, Selwyn Jones, making a nice play. But you see right there, Cortez Kennedy, number 96. The screen is being set up. McIntyre lets him go by. But it doesn't affect the spiral on the ball, and it still gets to Ricky Waters. But if he just gets up just a little bit higher, it might be 6 for Cortez Kennedy.
3rd down and 11. Four wide receivers.
They're all coming.